Welcome, everybody. Another episode of Friday House. Today, I have my friend with me here, Matt. We've known each other for about 15 years now. It's been a while.
Something like that. It's been some time.
We actually met one day. We both got the same position at a local Lowe's department store, and we've been wreaking havoc ever since. It's been awesome. Been a pleasure to know the guy. We've actually done a lot of ghost hunting together as well. Worked a few other jobs together, but all in all, he's like the brother I never had, to be honest. So
Yeah, he was the only other one cracking Deadpool jokes at the interview, so it was natural. It,
yeah, still going with the Deadpool.
very nice, very nice. I got Maik the liar.
Nice.
and and I've got Chopper.
Interesting.
You gotta have a good Chopper. I've got Blue.
Oh, that's a small one there.
Yep. And then I've got another one back here, but I'm not gonna reach all the way back there. But I've also got Eric Cartman.
Ah,
So
classic one there.
got a little collection here.
Yeah, when you get he's working on getting himself a studio set up, and as soon as he does, you got to put him on a shelf behind you, make it look awesome.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna have a whole display behind me, and yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good.
Well, in the chat we have Sarah Bowman. Thank you for coming. It's our Spook Fest. He was on the last live stream. That's Ryan, awesome guy. You know him. He's in the chat with us. The Embedded Hobbyist. Thank you very much for showing up, the Embedded Hobbyist. This is somebody I've spoke to for a little while on YouTube. He's got great videos. Again, if you ever want to learn about electronics, that guy, great. He knows the stuff, and he's taught me several things throughout the years, and I've been doing it since I was old enough to pick up a screwdriver. So definitely check out the Embedded Hobbyist. Alyssa, hey, thank you for coming. So anyway, this is an interview for Mr. Matt. He is the founder of Spoiled Avocado. Can you tell us about Spoiled Avocado?
Spoiled Avocado is a sort of like a gaming community. We had a little trouble when we started using Discord, me and a few friends of mine. Eventually, it came down to one of us made a server of our own, and it was cool. But again, there was trouble, moderation, and things like that. So I decided I was going to make my own. Didn't go anywhere for a while. Eventually, I developed it, and now we have moderation. We have regular events. We have various layers of the community that people can go to. I appreciate that, Alyssa. Yeah, it. I forgot I had this on. I'm not gonna lie. I woke up in this. But yeah. So it's just basically it's a social community just for people to come together, and if you want to play games or watch movies, we regularly are doing things each night. So check us out, Spoiled Avocado. And actually, if you check me out on, let's see, where do I have it up? I don't think I haven't put any videos up about it yet.
Would you like me to post the Discord link in the chat?
Yeah, you could do that. You could just put a link in there. I'll see if I can make something here for you.
See, bringing it up real quick. Of course, Discord has to run the updated.
Yeah, absolutely. You know how that is. Okay. There you are. You can share that in there. just in case anybody has anything to do, we have like an art portal. We have a musicians portal. If you're a musician, we've got streaming, gaming, you name it. There's all kinds of stuff going on in there.
All right, let me copy this link here. So yeah, mostly he does a lot of gaming and whatnot, which we have a lot of in the community. Most of the bigger channels, Andrew Stone Rock, a few others, they do a lot of gaming as well. So kind of with the paranormal and the gaming kind of goes hand in hand in this community. So
I can see that.
Yeah, they do. Beardo, one of the biggest debunkers out there, one of the bigger channels, he's every morning you can log in and watch him play in his games, and it's pretty entertaining. So I don't do it the kind of gaming I do. I'll turn on my Atari emulator, maybe my NES emulator, which I actually have USB controllers just to play Kirby's Adventure or Mario Brothers. But that's the extent of my game.
That's pretty cool, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm trying to get an Atari one. I want to get a Sega Genesis and just run the emulators. I mean, I can't find the systems themselves, but if I can plug in the controller and emulate, why not?
Yeah, I know, right? Sounds good.
Oh, definitely. So is there anything new with the gaming, or you got anything new that you're going to try, or what's going on with it?
Well, like I said, recently we've been doing a lot of movie watching events.
Okay.
Building a stronger community in different areas has sort of been where we've been focusing. So as of right now, if anybody does game and wants to be a part of that, there's an invite link in there. You guys can, feel free to join in and just do your thing in there. We
Nice.
have public and private chats. And what I mean by private, I mean like, for example, if you're in the sort of like in the musicians corner, you want to collaborate with other musicians in the server, you've got a chat in there that you can speak directly with them that other people aren't going to get involved in. And then there's public chats as well that you can jump into and talk to people. So, and then we have a event board or an event. It's called a stage in Discord. But you're free to go in there and set up an event, and you can stream your own movie, or if you've got music you've
Okay.
made, you can go ahead and stream that, or whatever you'd like to do.
Right.
So
A place where you go to where you're not going to get a ton of copyright this and that, and
right, and you're not gonna get any kind of like disrespect or hate or anything like that. We've got very strict when it comes down to the community. If you have an issue with something somebody's doing, you can always formally bring that to one of our attention, without that being in the eyes of everybody, and we can deal
right.
with it. So a very, very clean cut community, and it's easy
Very
to get
nice.
into, easy to make friends in there. Everybody's pretty friendly. So
Oh yeah. I've been in there a couple times myself, and it's a very chill. It's a very welcoming community. Nobody judges. I like it. But,
accept you as you are.
as it should be, to be honest. I mean, every community should be. Every community has a theme. So, I mean, if you don't want to go to a carpet store and start bragging about telescopes and getting mad at them for not having telescopes. So, it's a gaming community, music community, creators community. If that's what you are, that's the place for you.
Right? Exactly.
So
There's a place for everybody in there.
Oh,
So
yeah. So you mentioned music. One of the things that Matt has been very good at is creating music. He made some for me to use, just like Michael Burkeen did as well. I'm going to be featuring all these songs in future videos, and I'm sure that YouTube's going to have fun with that. The last video that I put up, Matt, I used this music from Chozic, which is you can use whatever music you want on there so long as you attribute the original artist. Okay, I did it in 2 places, in the video and in the description. It's all there. Everybody sees I didn't have the music. Before I even hit publish on that thing, their AI had already copyrighted it, claiming a song that I'd never even heard of. And right now it's got that copyright claim on it. And I have to wait for the artist of the other song to look at it and read my comment and for him to say, hey, that's not even my song before they release it. Video's up. I mean, you can watch it, but the claim is on there. Their AI doesn't even work. So be careful with that, people.
Yeah, I don't. That was sort of my biggest fallback with getting involved in social media. Is YouTube is one of those things that they don't have a good setup.
No.
I mean, you can't create anything. Everything has to have already existed, or you have to have some sort of like sponsor or something. Like you can't just go on there and create anymore like you used to. Now they have
Right.
a way of keeping you down.
Got to be that cookie cutter, same as everybody else thing.
Yep. You got to fit a certain description.
We got, let's see, Julie is in the chat as well. How you doing, Julie? Raven, good to see you.
Hey guys.
So yeah, but as far as music, where's your music at right now? What are you doing with that?
So I do a lot of things actually with music. I just have fun with it, really. There's not a certain genre I haven't touched. There's not, something I haven't experimented with. I really like the this is gonna sound really generic. I like the trap beats, you know, and like the lo-fi rap beats and things like that. Like it just has like a certain sound that I chase after. So when I make music, I always try to go for that type of sound. So every
Almost like
now and
the
then,
introduction music.
almost, yeah, actually. I was about to say every now and then I'll make something that sounds like some of the music you heard here. So like the introductory music, the transition music, things like that. Um, I've made a few beats that have sounded like that. You've heard them, you know.
Oh
I
yeah,
literally named one of them Ghosts from like way back in time. Um,
I think I still have that.
I could probably put a link to that.
Yeah, you can do that.
I'd have to get.
Yeah, he's made music for a long time, synthesized. He does play the guitar as well. Way better at it. I could barely play the radio, so I'm naturally going to be impressed.
Oh yeah, the guitar was a bit of a challenge. I didn't know anything about playing guitar.
Hmm.
I didn't even know anything about guitars. I didn't know how they worked or yeah, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know what kind of sorcery was at work when you pluck a string and it makes music and it's like what is this witchcraft, you know?
Right. Let's see, where is it? I know I've got it in here somewhere. I have got so many sound clips and so many. I got a lot in here. Let's see. No, I've got it somewhere. Come on, Windows search. Do your thing.
That's that Windows search yawn right there is what that is.
When Windows search is just like Windows troubleshooter. It says, hey, you got a problem. Let me look at it. Nope, don't see a problem. Or it says, yeah, you still got a problem, but I don't know. That was made by the same people that made the operating system, but I can't help you.
Error. Unable to locate specified file path in file system, and then you open the folder and you're like, oh, there it is. Look at that. I found it.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. How do I tell Windows I found it?
Right? Click on it, try to open it, see what it says.
Right? Download a program or choose a program on this. No, dude, that's the file.
We've also got a background in computer tech and whatnot. Got a lot of inside jokes about that stuff. Let's see. Ryan says,
Harmonica.
I play a little guitar. It's definitely not easy. I like harmonica, but can only play really after a few drinks. My dad can play harmonica amazingly. Awesome. That's pretty awesome. You gotta get a clip of that on your channel.
I've wanted to get a harmonica, but I just don't know what I'm looking at when I look at them. I guess I need to learn more about them before I shop for one.
Yeah. Yeah, most I did was annoy my parents with one.
I had a flute. It's a little plastic flute. They don't make toys like they used to, because I made some music with that flute. That thing was tuned. It worked. And they don't anymore. You get a toy flute now and they just whistle. Yeah. Or they don't do anything.
They're glorified whistles. Yeah, there we go. I got it posted for you.
Oh yeah, there it is. That link to Newgrounds, that's that beat Ghosts that we were talking about earlier.
The embedded hobbyist says, when I was 15, I played electric biscuit tins. We did not have any drums. If it works, it works. I mean, if it makes music.
You know, the drums started somewhere originally anyway in the first place. So somebody somewhere was banging biscuit tins before drums were invented.
The first drum set. Just kidding.
Drum roll, please.
I can't even do it. My cheeks are so thick, it won't do it. That's all I get.
I could beatbox, but you don't want to hear that. I said I could do. I didn't say I could do it good.
So save it for a future stream. And eventually I plan on it. Right. In the future, I am going to have a stream where I'm going to have Matt, Ryan, and well, somebody fighting with a door back there. Anyway,
maybe it's a ghost.
No, had trouble with the door. Anyway, sorry about that. Michael, Matt, and Ryan will all be together. We'll have 4 of us on the stream, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but try to keep it entertaining.
I mean, the 4 of us in there, what's not to talk about? We could probably go on about the color orange for the next 4 hours.
Yeah. I mean, this is normally what I put on whenever I do the stream. It's just, the streaming outfit. But no, we did not plan the whole orange and blue thing. That was spontaneous on his part.
Coincidental. Happy coincidence.
Right. So, all right, but down to a different subject. One of the things that we used to talk about, as a lot of you know, a lot of studying I do is on near-death experiences and the sciences behind it, out-of-body experiences, gateway tapes, that kind of stuff. You've heard me mention it 100 times. Talked about it with Ryan as well. He's well-versed in it and actually had a out-of-body experience himself. But you, Matt, you have astral projected in the past, correct?
I have.
Can you count how many times?
I cannot.
So you I know you had kind of a dark past with it. I don't know how much of this you want to talk about, but I'm going to give you the stage for a minute, and you can fill people in on your history on that.
Well, some of it, I mean, if I was to go all the way back to the beginning, I was raised Christian Baptist, and uh, not going to say anything ill about any religion because what you believe is what you believe. But it didn't work for me. So, I spent some time searching around trying to figure out where I wanted to be religiously. Um, Went through a few different things, and at the end of the day, when nothing really worked, um, I decided that I was going to go ahead, and this is the dark part we talked about. I was going to go ahead and just hit the F it button. I was going to go straight into satanic worship and Satanism. And so there's a lot of things about Satanism that get misunderstood, and I'm not defending Satanism. I'm no longer that. Uh, but I didn't realize that when I went into it, as most people wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went into uh, originally when I went into Satanism, it was all about worshiping Satan, right? That's Satanism. But you don't worship Satan. That's the thing. You worship yourself. You are God. You are your own God. That's how it works in that religion. So it opened a lot of doors for self-discovery. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very self-discovering type religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so after learning so much about my inner self and getting in tune with how to control my energies and how to control I just basically using my will for what I want to manifest in my life and making it happen through
Mm-hmm.
just sheer force of will. I started to learn some spells, some witchcraft. I'm not sure how much I believed in any of that stuff, but I did it anyway. I tried it out.
Mm-hmm.
One night, I remember I was doing, it was a summoning spell, and I remember the only smoke that should have been there was the smoke from the candles, and
Mm-hmm.
there were candles around in like a circle, had the pentagram drawn and all that.
Yeah.
And by the time I had finished out the ritual, there was smoke outside of the circle. Like there was smoke, but only outside of the circle. And I
Yeah.
could definitely see things moving around me in the smoke. Um, I freaked out because I never really believed in any of that up until that point. And I ran back to the house and I learned the hard way that that's a thing you don't do
Hmm.
because that house had some serious activity in it for a while.
What
Uh,
kind of activity?
a lot of kinds of activity. So I was in my room, and I was on my PC. I was just playing games, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And something fell on the other side of the wall. That would be in the laundry room of the house, right? It was
Yeah.
directly on the other side of the wall. Every time the washer was spinning, you could just dun, 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 against my
Yeah.
wall, right? Like right on the other side of the wall. So something fell. Um, I got up. This was the middle of the night. So I
Mm-hmm.
got up and I went into the laundry room to check it out. And I found what fell. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why it fell. It wasn't exactly on the edge of it was up on top of like a shelf or whatever, but it wasn't like on the edge.
Mm-hmm. Kind of
Um,
push back.
yeah, so I mean, I don't know why it fell, but I put it back up there anyway. I didn't think anything of it. And I was going back into the room and I see a black cat dart down the hallway at me. We didn't have a black cat, especially not one that big. That was like a baby panther that was like big.
Wow.
And I almost tripped. So I thought I was going to trip over it. I thought it was going to run directly into my leg. So I
Hmm.
started hopping on one foot down the hallway out of reaction, and then I turned to look behind me, and there was nothing there. So I was a little freaked out, but I was thinking, maybe narcolepsy. So I went back into my room. I mean, what do you think? You think you're crazy. And so I went back into my room, and I'm, back on my PC, and I start hearing like these taps on my bedroom door, just these little like taps, you know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking my nephew might be knocking on the door. I don't know. He's a little kid. He doesn't knock like normal people. So I'm like,
Right.
yeah, and no answer. I just get another tap. And I'm like, yes. And again, no answer. And I just get like two more taps.
Just trying to
And
get
I'm
your
like,
attention.
oh, I didn't even see the chat. I got so caught up in telling a story.
Everyone is so surprised I got people in real life. Oh, we all got people in real life. But definitely something was trying to get your attention on there.
Yeah, something. And so at some point I got up. I went to my bedroom door and I opened it up to see who's there,
Hmm.
and I don't see anything. There's nothing standing there, but I hear something very like a very aggressive like exhale, and just hot air just comes down, and it smells putrid, and then it's gone. Everything's just gone. And I'm just like standing there with this stank face, this, you know,
Yeah.
I was like, what just happened? And so that's when I started to realize, like, oh, well, there could be a demon in the house, it's possible. So, yeah, I mean, oh yeah, I see the shadow cat all the time. I see
Hmm.
it. I even to this day I still see it. Um, there's another story behind that. I had a Native American elder do a blessing ritual thing on me, and I was
Yeah.
told that that was my protection, my spirit, the protector spirit or whatever it is,
Hmm.
my spirit guide. I don't know, but anyway, it's a black cat. It's a rather large black cat.
Hmm. Can't tell what species it may be, like a
It's
large house
always a
cat,
blur.
panther.
Anytime I see it, it's a blur. Like when I
Hmm.
say a blur, I mean like the cat itself is a motion blur. Nothing else. Everything around it's fine, but it moves and you see trails behind it and you can't
Huh.
make out details of it and things like that. Like it's the entire animal is a motion blur of itself and it moves around unnaturally.
Have you tried like setting up a camera or anything, try to catch it?
Yes, I never catch it.
Never get any of it.
Never on camera. I've caught it was on my old PC.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be able to show you now, but it was a webcam video where I'd set the webcam up on top of the door, and I did catch a glimpse of like a line almost slightly brighter than the rest of the hallway. Um,
Hmm.
it just kind of moved from one end of the screen to the other, and it moved almost like the way the cat moves, but
Yeah.
it wasn't the cat as far as you could
Hmm.
see. I wonder if it could have been a different manifestation of the cat, the difference between what I see and what the camera could see. I don't know. but that's the closest I've ever gotten to it.
Hmm. Well, might have better look
Yep,
with it one day.
that's how it is. It's just a motion blur of itself. It's really hard to make out details. It's bigger than a domestic cat. It might be twice the size of a domestic cat.
Like a bobcat kind of.
Yeah, like I said, a baby panther. Like when I say a baby panther, I mean like half the size of a full-grown panther, like big, big black cat. And
Hmm.
it's very mysterious too. It doesn't. I've never heard it meow. I've never heard any vocal cat noises or purrs or growls or anything from it. I've only
It
ever
just
seen it.
it
It
just
doesn't
kind of
even
runs
make
around.
noise. When it moves around, it doesn't even make noise. If it jumps off of the counter onto the
Hmm.
floor, you will not hear the thud from it landing on the floor.
Interesting.
There's no sound.
Um. Well, that's one of the side effects from it. But how did this lead up to your astral projection?
Oh, right. Of course, that was the original topic. This is where things get a little exciting. So after the
Okay.
satanic episode, and all the demons, at some point I decided that Satanism also wasn't really helping me. The end goal here was to make my life a better place for me to live, you know, and Satanism wasn't doing it. So,
Right.
yep, that sounds about right. Sorry, I was reading Sir Spook's comment. But
Hmm.
um but yeah, so Satanism wasn't doing it.
Hmm.
I went to paganism. Paganism was a much different hat to wear. I
Hmm.
didn't like it right off the bat. Went to Wiccan. Being Wiccan was cool. I didn't learn much about it because I couldn't find anybody that was into it. And eventually it just kind of died out and I stopped doing anything. So
Hmm.
at that point, I kept practicing what I knew, which was the meditations and the channeling your energies, things like that.
Hmm.
And one day, I, not gonna lie, it's kind of dumb. I had these feelings for this lady and wanted to make sure she was okay, or wanted to know she was okay.
Hmm.
And and I was doing a meditation, and I guess I just wanted to know badly enough. I had a dream of her and her friend in the kitchen at her house, and
Hmm.
there was certain things that they said, and she was twisting a cap onto a cup that she had,
Hmm.
and all these things, details I remember. And then later on in life, after I'd come out of the meditation, all that, I had spoken to her,
Hmm.
and I recalled that instance as if I had been there. And then she kind of looked at me confused, and I figured, well, maybe that didn't really happen. I think that was a dream actually. But I didn't say that, you know. I just
Hmm.
kind of dropped it. But she brought it up to me again later, and she asked me how I knew about that or how I knew that happened because I wasn't there. And I was like, "Are you sure?" "I'm pretty sure I was there." And she's like, "No, you were not at my house at that time."
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh, weird.
Kind
How would I know about that then?" And she was like, "Right?" And she just kinda laughed at it, we laughed it off, but I knew what happened because I'd already been reading up on it and,
right.
I had an out of body experience, in the spirit, I went to check on her because I wanted to know she was okay.
Yeah.
Um, so then I started practicing and because I figured out I could do it. And
Hmm.
it took me a while to get it down, but I got it where I could pretty much do it just about every time. Yeah, 100%. I remembered exactly what happened. Um, but yeah, like I could pretty much get it right every time where I would project. But every time I projected, I would project where I was just seeing myself, or where I would be with a loved one, or,
Hmm.
something like that. I was never able to detach. And at some point, I got to where I was projecting, but
Hmm.
instead of just leaving my body, I imagined a tunnel of light.
Hmm.
And so when I projected, I would go through that tunnel. And when I came back out, I was in a whole different realm, like a whole different world.
Whole
Uh,
different reality.
yeah, a whole different existence. And I was
Gotcha.
able to play with things and mess with things in there. And I didn't really know what was what or if any of it was real. So I decided to run some experiments. And I found that I could tune in to the
Hmm.
different objects, if I could call them objects in that realm, because they're all strings attached to each other.
Yeah.
Um, but I found that I can tune in to certain strings, and in my mind, I know what those strings represent and what they connect with, what they control. And I can influence them one way or another, depending on what I want to happen in this part of my life, how I want this to go down. And I can affect things across the world that don't even
Hmm.
relate to me, you know.
Hmm.
And so I kind of started to play with things, and I've found that a lot of the time I didn't have the power to actually change anything, but I could interact with these things.
Okay.
So I started, through more of these meditations, I started doing more of the energy building, just bringing in more energy, thinking I can do more
Yeah.
if I have more going in.
Yeah.
And I went in with more energy to work with. This is all just in your mind, you know. This
Hmm.
could be interpreted however you want, in whatever way makes sense to you. So this is how it made sense to me, was to just think, "Well, I just need to charge my battery and go
Yeah.
back in there," right?
Right.
So I go back in and I start, you sort of use like your power of will, when you want something to change,
Hmm.
and then you physically interact with, or I guess spiritually interact with that string.
Hmm.
And then when you come out of the meditation and you start paying attention to that specific situation in your life, you'll start noticing that it's developing more in your favor, the way you
Interesting.
wanted it to. And so these are things I started playing with. Um, and everybody will tell you
Hmm.
that the power of manifestation is real, that if
Hmm.
you put your mind to, like, I need to make my rent for the month, and you put your mind to that and you just like you manifest it. Oh, well, I'm going to have my rent this month. I don't know how I'm going to have it, but I'm going to have it. You know,
Right.
you manifest that, and it happens. There's a sort of a backstage section of that I
Hmm.
think I got into when I did that meditation. So that's sort of the history of it. Now, when I meditate, I focus more on myself rather than anything
Yeah.
going on around me. But back then, I was dipping into scary territory.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think it. If I could do it, you could do it.
Hmm.
Hitler could have done it. I'm just saying, any human would have been capable of doing this. And in the wrong hands, this is a type of power that could just be not good for. I swear to God, I'm blowing up right now. It's just a type of power that could just not be good, for people to have.
Right.
Um, I do want to throw in one last segment of the story because
Hmm.
we're already coming up to about 1:40, our
Hmm.
time. The last segment to this story of my out of body experiences and my meditations. there is inside of this realm. Um, hey, Michael, inside of this realm, it's a bubble. It's like a sphere,
Hmm.
similar to our real universe or even our planet, our atmosphere. It's our atmosphere. It's like a protective, invisible bubble. Within this
Hmm.
bubble is where everything exists. And I found the edge of the bubble. Um, and I didn't go out there. I planned on going out there the next time I
Hmm.
meditated. So um, the next time I did, full speed ahead, flew straight for it because I could fly. I didn't have legs. I was an orb
Right.
in this form. So full speed ahead, straight to the edge of the bubble, and then I just bursted out of it. And as soon as I got out, it was just pure black and pain and stinging, and it
Hmm.
just it was like something was just ripping me to shreds, tiny, tiny piece by tiny, tiny piece,
It's like you were
you
being
know,
assimilated by the void.
basically. And when I look up, I see four very large beings, all dressed in cloaks similar to what the Grim Reaper would wear. And they're all holding these staffs. And at the tops of these staffs are little bubbles. And
Hmm.
inside of these bubbles are little realms, just like the one I was just in. And so I'm speaking to these things and I'm asking them questions, about
Hmm.
the realms that are in those bubbles and, what are these guys and what do they do and where am I
Yeah.
right now? And I was in an area between multiverses.
Interesting.
That's what they told me. Um, we had my multiverse, which is the infinite number of universes that make up our existence. And then
Hmm.
outside of that is nothing. And then there are other bubbles that have other multiverses where there are other entirely different existences with infinite versions of themselves.
Interesting. Yeah. See, a
And
lot of
these
near death
guardians,
experiences. They've talked about talking to source and being shown other universes and other realities. And one of them actually said that when you go to yourself, check out early, so to speak, um, one of three things is going to happen. One, you've done enough work that you can stay. Two, you're going to get punished in the lake of fire. Or three, you're sent to a parallel universe to live out your plan again. So it's been mentioned many times. So that actually kind of goes along with it.
I feel like I feel like that's situational. I think that
Hmm.
it depends on, why you might have quit the game.
Yeah.
I think if the game's unwinnable and you quit the game, that's probably understandable. But if you're just gonna jump out of a moving vehicle that runs fine and there's nothing wrong with it, that might hurt you
Yeah.
if you catch my drift.
Yeah. Yeah. That goes on along with a lot of it.
Um, there are 13 dimensions of interspace.
Hmm.
That's the way they said it. There are 13 of them. I only saw 4 of them, but there are 13 of them,
Hmm.
and each one of them guards a different version. The bubble I flew out of was on the top of the staff of one of them I didn't see. So there were 5 total around me, but
Hmm.
I only saw the 4 in front of me. So I'm not sure how big the world really is, but when it gets to the point that you have to escape somehow into a spiritual existence or
Yeah.
otherworldly form to be able to see the rest of it, I mean, at that point, the vast size of the universe doesn't even surprise me anymore. You know, there's so
Right.
much more out there.
Well, I mean, size is actually kind of subjective. It's relative. I mean,
Right.
if you were to imagine a just imagine a completely blank void. Okay, you're not even in it. You're just viewing it. You're not there, and there is a ball. You're looking at this ball. You would not be able to tell how far away it was or how big it was because there's nothing to compare it to. So it can be infinitely small or enormous, size of a universe by itself if there's nothing to compare it to. So where you were at was in a space where there was no comparison. So you had no size. Size is not a thing. And that's actually what they find when they go to look into a particle. Um, it's there, but there's no point of where it actually is. It doesn't have a size, even though it exists. So let's see, Michael's got a question here.
So generally, when I meditate, I breathe in through my nose, roughly about 4 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
5 seconds, something like that. And then I'll hold it about 4 or 5 seconds. And then I breathe out through my mouth as if blowing out a candle. So just, for about 4 or 5 seconds. And then I wait.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the reason I do that specifically is because it's enough oxygen moving into the body um, that it keeps your mind active, which is what you want if you're meditating. You want your mind to move you into that state, but it's enough breath out and it's enough of a inner what would that enough of a time period in between that you have enough time for your mind to break down and put you in that trance state. So you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to stay awake, but you're not going to fall asleep either. You'll stay right in the middle in that meditative state. That's usually what I like to do. And there's been times where I've caught myself just not breathing at all. That's okay. I've scared myself by doing it. Don't scare yourself if you do it. It's okay. Your body will breathe when it needs the air. You just, if you don't feel like you need to breathe, don't breathe. You let your meditation go fluid, let it flow the way it naturally needs to, and you'll get in wherever you need to, whether it's in the astral plane or if you need to communicate with a loved one or you just want to see what's going on somewhere, you let it naturally happen
Mm-hmm.
and you'll get there. Your body knows how to do these things naturally, even though you consciously may not know. Subconsciously, it's programmed into you. You will know what to do while you're
Mm-hmm.
doing it. And you might think to yourself, this feels stupid, or, am I doing it right, or something like that. You probably are. If that's the way you feel like you need to be doing it, you're doing it that way, you're probably doing it right.
Mm-hmm. So, what advice do you have for people who experience the sleep paralysis? Usually, that frightens them and they wakes them right up. What have you done about that?
When I have it, I do have night terrors. Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, you're good. I do have night terrors from time to time. It's a thing that happens. Um, there are certain things that are unchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, those are one of the things for me. So, usually, my night terrors, a lot of the time, it's a something stopping me from saving a loved one from certain death, and I have to, you know, I have to witness it. I have to watch it happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's a night terror. I mean, we can't expect anything happy, right? So, usually when this happens, there are times when I will wake up and feel like I'm not able to move. And when that happens, I've sort of pre-programmed into myself that it's a generic response. I just kind of stop, I breathe, I wait.
Hmm.
I can't tell if I'm in a dream or if I'm not in a dream. I can't tell what was the dream and what wasn't. So,
Right.
as far as I'm as far as I know, my girlfriend could totally be strung up being tortured by some people. I don't know. You know, I have no idea. I just woke up out of this dream, so give me a minute. So I'll sit there and I'll breathe, and at some point I'll start looking around and I'll realize my surroundings and um, but sleep paralysis, it happens for a lot of reasons, and my specific reason is a very specific reason. So if you have it because you're having dreams of a demon holding you down, a lot of the
Hmm.
time it's nothing spiritual. I'm just going to tell you that right now. A lot of the time it's something going on in your life, and your subconscious mind is trying to tell you what's going on, but you don't understand what it's saying because all you see is a demon on your chest. Your brain is trying to tell you this demon represents some big monster that you're facing in your life, and it's holding you down and you need to deal with it. In a spiritual sense, there have been, um, as far as I know, I've never experienced it, but there have been during like demonic possessions, and I have been demonically possessed before, but I've never been um, the grudge demonically possessed,
Right.
It, it's never been like what's that one movie? The Exorcist? It's never been like that. But like I've heard from people um that sometimes when you go through a demonic possession, it can feel like or it can give you that where you'll have like a demon sitting on your chest. Um
Yeah. Or the night hag, as they call it sometimes.
Running from a witch a few times, hiding under a scary house. That sounds very specific. That's probably spiritual. That sounds very specific.
So if you were
Actually,
to
kind of rings a
have
bell.
something, yeah. So if you have something that is specific or non-specific, the person experiencing it, how would they be able to tell the difference? I mean, if they've never dealt with a night hag or anything like that, how would they know if that's specific to them or general?
There's only one way. You try to communicate.
Okay.
If it's an actual spirit that's haunting you for some
Hmm.
rhyme or reason, 9 times out of 10, spirits haunt you for two reasons. They haunt you
Hmm.
because they have something to say, or they haunt you because you have something they want. Um, 9 times out of 10. Now, there are some residual prankster types that'll go around and knock something off your shelf one day, and they're not tied to you or the house. But
Hmm.
typically speaking, they haunt you because you have something they want or because they have something to say. So if this is a
Okay.
spirit, try to communicate with her. It's your dream. That spirit, even though they may be in that dream, they may be able to influence certain things or make certain things look a certain way or whatever they
Hmm.
want to do. It's your dream. So they don't get to touch you if you don't want them to. So you try to communicate with them,
Hmm.
and if you feel like you get a genuine communication, um, then you can take that message, do what you need to do with it. I've had that happen a couple of times, but I've never been able to really communicate um, with
Yes.
anybody. But I had a dream once of my grandma who passed, came to talk to me, wanted
Hmm.
me to tell my mom that she's okay. And so I did. And, I told my mom that I had a dream that she told me that because I was a kid.
Yeah.
So But looking back on it now, I firmly believe that she came to me and told me to go tell my mom that. Um,
Sounds
but
logical,
a lot of the time you communicate with them.
right? So, we have come up on the 1 hour mark. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask them now. We're going to try to get in a few of those, and then Matt's got a couple things he's got to get to, so try to work from there. But yeah, this has been a lot of this stuff you've never told me before. You've told me some of it, but not with this detail, and that's kind of enlightening.
I don't think we've really ever had time to sit down and actually talk about it. 'Cause we've always been going to a job or we were actively at work or whatever the case
Or making fun of something we're watching.
or something, yeah. Plus, I had a lot of trauma back then that I wasn't really ready to deal with.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we both went through a little bit of that.
Sometimes if you are in a spiritual form, if you're out of body, um, which can happen several ways, you don't have to be anywhere on Earth. You can be in a different universe for all you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, but if you have a little trouble finding your way back to your body, or it just takes your spirit a while to get back to your body, they do
Mm-hmm.
have to travel. It's not exactly instant, even though they can warp through dimensions. It's not exactly instant. So sometimes you'll get that feeling where you can't open your eyes for a while, and you might
Mm-hmm.
feel like they were just stuck shut. Another reason that could happen is because spiritually you're not ready to come out of that dream or meditation, or something is trying to keep you there that's very much stronger than you, and that's a really big problem if that's the case, but that's rarely ever the case. But
When you say they're stronger, is that like more willpower, or what constitutes as strength on that side?
when you walk for the first time, you have to employ a couple of things. You have to employ willpower, you have to employ coordination, meaning you have to know how walking works to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to employ a little bit of physical strength. So these beings, they have to want it, but they also have to know how to make it happen. And then on top of that, they have to invest their own energy into it to make it happen. So it's sort
Gotcha,
of the same. They have to, it's like a mixture of things, I guess.
gotcha. Alrighty. Well, don't have any questions at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and call this one done. In the future, like I said, we're going to have Matt, going to have Michael, going to have Ryan, all four of us together on here. Um, I'd even include alcohol. I don't know. Haven't decided yet, but we'll get that figured out.
I'm down.
Uh, right? Everybody, this is my friend Matt. Friend in real life. Actually lives about 30 minutes away from me. Great guy. Check out his Discord channel if you're into gaming and whatnot. And aside from that, man, it was good to see you.
It was good
Definitely.
seeing you, especially in this setting, because this is the first time I've ever done something like this with you. Oh, we
Right?
do run keep an eye out. It will be in the Discord channel when it comes out. So if you guys are interested, join the Discord channel because we are starting up a podcast just real quick. It's called Humanity is Dead. So you guys can get on and listen to us talk crap about everything. It's not very PG, so have your anti-kid listening ears on. Um, but it'll be entertaining. So I just wanted to plug that real quick.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, I will let you get back to it. He's expecting a phone call. Hope that goes good. And
Hopefully.
everybody, thank you for joining again. Y'all been awesome. You are great. Um, definitely got the same supporters, and you guys have no idea how much I thank you for that. It means a whole lot to me. It really does. I mean, especially just starting out. So everybody have a good one and take care. We're out.